updated. It's able to grab keyboard, video cam, send back images, conceal itself very well. In fact, we know that some of the most sophisticated malware, which leaked into public hacking groups, came from nation-state hackers. It was too well developed, too sophisticated for any ordinary hacking group to create. One of the most sophisticated tools we've ever seen came from US and Israeli secret cyber attack teams, which was called Stuxnet, which brought the Iranian centrifuges, which are used for enriching uranium, to their knees. But again, the problem is that a lot of these weapons will eventually get leaked, and then we as the public will always be weakened by this. And even your own Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has called for the laws that apply in the ordinary world to also apply online. That, in other words, we, the public, the internet itself, that we are at risk from nation states attacking each other because these cyber weapons inevitably get leaked, and then they go into the hands of people who can do destruction for ordinary people.
But how difficult is it to protect such information from being stolen?
I mean, again, of course, the hackers only have to get lucky once, whereas the good guys with their IT security departments have to make sure that all the weaknesses in the defense are patched as such. And we're seeing, again, that 2015, Obama, for instance, signed an agreement with China that they would stop industrial espionage. Unfortunately, now with the new trade agreements up by Donald Trump and China, now we've seen a huge increase in Chinese hacking attempts on the US infrastructure, again, looking for industrial espionage. So again, that's a very, very lucrative thing for a lot of these governments, trying to get trade secrets, trying to get the plans to infrastructure, solar panels. We've seen so many examples of this again, that again, things are increasingly moving online, and it's hard to see what budgets these countries have when it comes to cyber offensive teams. In the past, we could easily count the number of trucks, the number of tanks, the number of planes. But when it comes to cyber warfare, it's almost impossible to tell what resources governments are putting into their cyber offensive team. All we know for sure is that they are increasingly growing them. They're recruiting more people in technology to become hackers. And even though they claim that they're doing it as defensive operations, we know that they're increasingly using cyber tools as offensive weapons so that they can win the war without a shot being fired.
And how different is the US's approach to tackling cyber crime now that Donald Trump is at the helm? You touched on it before, but yeah, just a little bit more information on that.
Last month, Donald Trump rolled back Obama-era legislation, the Presidential Policy Directive 20, which required agencies in the United States to collaborate and talk to each other before they did any offensive cyber warfare. They believed that was too restrictive, and Trump has rolled that back, given them more ammunition, less red tape, blocking them from conducting offensive cyber warfare. So now they become more gung-ho under the Trump administration.
How likely is it that those indicted by the US will end up in jail?
I mean, it's proven very unlikely. We're seeing that in the UK with issues with Russia, that we always have this jurisdiction problem with the internet, because really what we're trying to do is crimes are so easily committed across jurisdictions, really. And again, it's just really, really difficult to bring people to. So again, what we're going to see really is an offensive retaliation from the United States, for instance. I mean, that seems to be in some ways the only way that you can stop these countries, or actually make them think about what they're doing, that they can do it without any repercussions. So again, that's why we're seeing the increase in offensive techniques again. But the internet itself is always about jurisdiction, because again, a server, and again, of course, the problem of attribution when it comes to attacks can be very, very difficult. But of course, any hacker who is skilled, when they do an attack, they will make it look like it comes from a different geographical area. They were also able to disguise the code to make it look like it came from someone else. So you need a lot of points of reference to correctly attribute who is the country or the group who's attacking you.
Looks like hackers go to great lengths to put investigators off. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Kevin. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Now, Now, for Australian farmers, droughts and price swings can be devastating enough, but imagine also dealing with armed conflicts and violent land grabs. As our next guest will explain, this is reality for many of those on the land in the Horn of Africa. Dr. Zerimarian Frey is the founder of the region's Pastoral and Environmental Network, and he's also a researcher in dryland agriculture and food security. He's been awarded the 2018 Desmond Tutu Reconciliation Fellowship Award for his life's work advocating for pastoralist communities in the Horn of Africa. And he says the farmers there face a number of serious threats.
There are a number of challenges. The